Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly podcast all about the great shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg. This is
Emo Arms Matt Strange, and this is
Home from work, Muir.
How are you both doing this week?
I had a family day with Ruth's family yesterday, so hence why this is late. And today I have had the wonders of 5 foot of lizard being, berserk, and then shitting on a shelf, which isn't her litter tray. And so, yeah, I'm a little bit, today. It's been a rough one.
This is what you get for having to eat my Subway.
You've got to get over it. That was like 8 years ago.
Never forgive, never forget.
But you, Morg, how's it been?
I'm all right. Just work, and more work.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
And then feeling a little bit ill at
You
work
also-
today and having the panic attack of, do I feel ill or am I just a bit tired and hungry?
Thing now, it's like whenever I
can't get
sneeze,
the Rones.
people looking at me, it's like, no, I've got hay fever. This is normal.
Fucking rip on it. Hay fever's been a saviour this year. Every time I go to the shops, I have a sneeze outside. Everybody leaves you alone. It's fucking wicked.
No,
I love
you're
it.
right.
Being a smoker and having your early morning cough helps as well.
Yeah. Classic.
Variety of ways to take advantage
So
of
wrestling,
Corona.
that thing that we're here for.
Wrestling.
Welcome to our
Welcome to our Corona.
Corona podcast.
Technically, it is a
Technically,
Corona
yes.
podcast. That's how this started.
Technically, they have been as such. So this might be the first time you've listened to our podcast. As such, you would need to know that we have a tier list, which is how we give our reviews of BTE, Dark, and the individual matches in Dynamite. Now, Mr. Strange will explain our tier list to you in some form. Over to you, Mr. Strange.
Their tier lists, you may well know them from internet videos or certain other channels or Japanese computer games. It's a alphabetical scale which indicates how good or bad something is. I'll let's throw a bit of flair on mine, so we're going to work through it with Canadian wrestlers today. Here's our lowest ranking of a match. A D rank match is a match you've not really enjoyed, you've not really watched, it's pointless, and you just don't care. This is the only category of which I've put 3 wrestlers into. Yeah. We have the Unspoken One, who we will not speak of. Val Venus, who is a commie-hating madman. Yeah. And Teddy Hart, who I follow a Twitter page of Is Teddy Hart in jail? He is currently.
Good.
If your wrestling match reminds you of any of those people, it's a bad match and a D rank. Moving up into C is your average match. What we expect to be a good match. It doesn't have to be mind-blowing, but everything's there. There's enough good wrestling. You can excuse any slips. There's enough story for it to matter. And I actually had to help Nick, get Nick to help me with a C rank one. I'm still going to go with the Mountie, because you don't really get much more Canadian than the Mountie, do you? And he apparently beat Bret Hart.
Yeah, the IC champion. Also Sean Spears.
Who's your other... Oh, yeah, no, good point. I love Sean Spears, but he is very much just solid, good match, man. More exciting, we rank up into B. B rank matches are the ones where we're actually starting to pay attention. You don't look away for the whole match. There's good story going in, all good story coming out. Can happen at any point. The wrestling is solid. You're not sat there going, oh, he slipped. Oh, that's bad. It's got character, it's got heart, and it goes well. B rank match. And I'm going to give that to Sami Zayn, a wrestler I have only seen perform in Chikara, who likes Scar. And I know he's popular with the WWE crowd, but he's not super popular. He's got enough character to stand out, and he's in between that cardi, upper cardi. He's just good. He's above the average. I don't know. WWE things. Meh. But everybody likes Sami Zayn. Everybody likes a B rank match. But it's not going to go down as like remembered forever. Not like my probably controversial A-choice Canadian. An A-choice match has some of the greatest storytelling. You're great going in. You know what's going on. You care. The wrestling is great to sublime. Everything in it is just fabulous. For me, and nothing is ruined about it later on, which is why Bret Hart is our A-rank Canadian.
Ooh, controversial.
It's not. For his reasoning. Let him reason why.
Bret Hart is legendary.
Yep.
Bret Hart is known for fabulous things in the ring. Bret Hart is known as having been a phenomenal technical wrestler who brought wrestling up to a different level. Bret Hart is obviously massively famous for being in the Montreal Screwjob. Bret Hart also didn't really do a lot of dubsy-dub, did he? Hart has also spent like the rest of history bitching about wrestling and being a little bit too up himself.
You mean the CM Punk 20 years before CM Punk?
Yeah, exactly. Go on, Morg, fight me.
No, go on.
That's why Bret Hart is only an A. He is enshrined in legend, and he has one of probably the greatest S-rank matches in history, which is, the perfect showing of a face and heel switch mid-match. But after that run, he never quite held up to the same standard. He got too angry about wrestling, and it's compromised his reputation. Not like our S-rank wrestler. An S-rank match stays true to time. An S-rank match, like previously mentioned, will be written in the annals. It's got character, it's got history, it's got story. Everything in the ring fascinated you, and you will remember it because it was fucking wicked. And it's got to be Jericho.
Yeah.
Ultimate mid-card through all of it. His character has been changed and evolved, but it's always been the core of Jericho. He's great in the ring. He does improvisational things.
He puts over the young ones.
Puts over the young ones. He brought Chris Benoit's family back together with the wrestling industry to get over that pain and difficulty they've been through. He does genuinely good things. He cares for people. He loves wrestling. His wrestling is great. He is a phenomenal character. And he's an S-rank Canadian.
Yet you hate the Judas effect. You're just monsters.
It's fucking shit.
And there is also the Curse of Jericho.
What, if you're surviving your match with him?
No. The Curse of Jericho is the fact that the first time he appeared in a new company, certainly ECW, WCW, and WWE, his first match was always shit.
Oh,
he talks about it in his book. Didn't happen in AEW.
This book's so weird. Like, I only see sections of it read on Botchamania, but the fact he seems to remember everything from like 30 years ago, just identically, like specific moments and words.
I will compare.
So we're going to give that our official. It's our book of the week recommendation. What's it called?
A Lion's Tale. A Lion's Tale.
No.
A Lion's Tale.
No, Morg. One of them. You can choose.
So that's our book of the week. Welcome to our pod from S-Class Canadian, Chris Jericho.
So moving on to the news of the week, and the first bit of news I managed to get hold of is apparently Max Cordona's contract has expired and he is not with AEW officially anymore. It was only a short-term contract just for a minor pop. What do you guys think of that?
Turn down Talking Shopper Mania for that. Just saying.
Yeah, no.
I don't know the guy that well. Everybody was scared he was going to come in and roll over the company because of his Cody friendship. I was a bit worried about that. I mean, I know everybody said he got himself over and was super popular, but obviously didn't really know him. Maybe they'll re-sign him. Maybe they'll give him something else. Maybe they'll save him for show 2. I can't imagine he'll be off the cards for long with what everybody's said about how great he is.
I think it's a waste of bringing him in at all. I think you should have either given him a proper contract or not brought him in at all.
He does look great.
He looks absolutely fantastic, but what's the point? If he's not going to sign a contract that's more than 5 matches, is there any real point? He's wasted.
I'm sure he'll be back for Cody things.
It's just wasting your first entrance, and you only get one of those, don't you?
Yeah.
And AEW has wasted a couple of first entrances, let's be honest. And now we liked Cage's entrance.
No, who is that? It's the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of sad because I think, he could obviously get himself over and stuff, but I think it's hard at the moment because there's so little time on the show for how many wrestlers they have.
Yeah, they're starting to suffer from oversaturation.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Strange, I believe you've got something that you want to have a little bit of a talk about.
So it's not to do with AEW, obviously. This is Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon. Vincent McMahon. No chance. That's what you got. Vince McMahon has basically banned all WWE wrestlers from having Twitch channels and is now forcing people to sign contracts, which mean they have to have a Twitch channel.
And it also counts towards their down salary. So basically, if they have a contract of like, 500K or whatever, if they earn that money through their Twitch channel, they won't get extra money for it. That's them pay, their yearly pay.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, at first, you were sort of a little against me on this because of the whole, well, he does own their certain names,
He owns their copyright.
But now
so you kind of like, well, yeah, if someone just goes on there and goes, I'm this wrestler, give me money, that is using his trademarks. But the way he's going about is the standard Vincent Kennedy McMahon way of just, going in so fucking hard. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, no.
Who's the least gamery wrestler in the WWE? Who is going to be the absolute best / worst Twitch channel to watch? I don't know. Brock.
Brock had a Twitch, I'd watch that. Brock's such an interesting human
watch the
being.
Shit out of that, yeah.
I can imagine that he doesn't even have a computer. I know he didn't have a TV for ages. Imagine Brock using a computer just like this caveman slapping the keys. It'd be beautiful.
You know what he's like? It'd be like, you have to game now, Brock. He'd be, okay, go buy like the most expensive gaming PC in the world and play like a golf simulator or something on it.
No, it'd be a hunting simulator.
He doesn't need to simulate the killing of creatures. He just goes out to the wild naked and does that himself.
So, moving swiftly on. So you were about to say, Mr. Strange.
That's all right. Alex Reynolds might have the Rona. That's why John Silver's getting single matches. Quick, roll into other news.
Rather than naked Brock Lesnar killing animals. Yeah. And our last piece of news is it's looking like rumour of an AEW video game. Wait.
Whoop, Kenny said some stuff. I think he's hinted it's coming out more.
Yeah.
I spoke over you.
No, are we excited about this or are we worried?
I love computer games. I love wrestling. My only fears are they'll make it to N64 and to based around AEW's charactery, as in like the later SmackDown games where you had to play as John Silver and do the John Cena.
John Silver, I'd play that.
Very different people, John Cena, and go through his career. Like they go back to that thing where when I make my 9-foot dinosaur-headed man who does moonsaults, he's as important as Kenny Omega, the game, and if I do the story, I get to rise up those levels. I'm happy. If it's wrestling good N64 wank, I'm going to be more dubious.
It really depends.
Cynic towards every computer game. What company's making it? Oh shit.
Oh,
more on that later.
So moving on now, it is time for our pick of social media of the week. People you should go and look at, maybe follow on Twitter or have a look at their YouTube channel or their Twitch channel. Mr. Strange, this is normally your department. Who are you shouting out for social media this week?
We're going to lead through with John Silver, who is Silver number 1. That's the number 1 at the end, not number O. N-E.
Yeah.
I almost forgot to spell fucking 1 there. Can you believe that? I was like, what's the first letter? His subtitle on there is Master of Karate and Friendship for Everyone. So us Always Sunny fans are a bit happy about it. Just go on there. Just watch everything. The Dark Order have got fucking great Twitter game at the moment. They know they own BTE. They know they're over as fuck. There's constant interaction between John Silver putting up threats and being randomly insulting to other wrestlers. Anna Jay threatening them. Five fucking loves it, and he's constantly posting about what's going on in their lair and the fact they've got 32 puppies and stuff like that.
I think you'll find it.
Keep. They're having a great time. Just if you're a Twitter person or a social media person, just follow Silver number 1 and just follow the Dark Order stuff. It's great. All the top clips from BTE and everything. I love them. I can't believe we hated them so much.
I know, it's ludicrous, isn't it? Like, we liked them because they were great, like, a tag team, but they were a terrible gimmick.
The start, well, when it was Uno, Grayson, and
Yeah.
Gimps, we were a little bit weirded out. Then as they grew, and then the Broadster arrived. So yeah, Dark Order through John Silver. He's brilliant.
So that's rather a good segue for us to move into our reviews. And as always, we kick off our review of the week with BTE. What did you think of Being the Elite this week? And overall, what score did we give Being the Elite this week?
It was carried. I'm just saying. It was carried by the Dark Order this week.
It was very carried.
Yeah.
I'm going to open with, they started with what could have been a good joke
it went
if
on
it wasn't
so
4 minutes long. I like Asshole Matt. I'm having great joy with Asshole Matt, but Jesus Christ. I mean, it was a Mac, disgusting, so it was deserved to be
Yeah,
destroyed.
but it was
But I
like
don't need
5
to watch.
minutes.
It was like 4 minutes 20. I was like measuring, but then I got bored of counting.
Right.
I'm bored of Bookshop for Toys.
After that, my notes have got 5 ketchup packets, and I don't understand what that means. Anybody got a clue?
Five had 5
Oh,
ketchup
okay,
packets
yeah,
at the start of
that's
the
it.
Dark Order section. He was counting them up
Oh,
to
yeah.
5 because that's his number. 5.
Because it's 5 comma ketchup packets. Now it makes sense. Thank you.
There you go. Dark Order, once again, great. Stu being the
Stupid.
most powerful. And I come out and I kick the fuck out of him. No, and what happens if we do that? You lose. I love it. I love the fact that they've given him his story floor now.
Yeah.
And the fact that when Anna Jay shoved him, he fucking flew.
She killed Griff
How
Garrison.
powerful. Canoninity, how powerful are the women in AEW's
That's why they can't have
world
intergender
now?
matches. They would just annihilate the men.
The women are too powerful.
Yeah, because we've seen how powerful Anna Jay is, and we've seen how powerful what's her name? The commentator, the ring announcer.
Yeah.
Because she's massive. Dasha, that's it. She's massively powerful in any Spanglish bit. So yeah,
As long as she has a shoe.
yeah, but she still overpowers any male wrestler she fights with a shoe. So that's why we can't have intergender wrestling.
Women are too powerful. God, I hope that's what they intend. I love it. Muir, keep leading us through.
I like the fact that Griff Garrison's now immortal according to the Dark Order. That made me laugh. I quite enjoyed the Spanish soap opera, ridiculous Mexican thing that they had going on. I thought that was brilliant, but I don't know, it went on a bit long.
Too long for me. I didn't get it till the end. I was like,
I think, during the beginning, I was very much, I think this is a Mexican soap opera, Mickey take. I think this is and then the ending was a really good payoff, so I didn't mind it too much because the payoff was worth it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we don't have to be the audience for everything. I'm sure AEW has a lot of Latino followers, and they have a huge amount of Latino wrestlers. So
or even American guys who understand very much that. I know that's very much a big joke, sort of in Mexico itself and in America. There's always a bit of a joke about the over-the-top Mexican soap operas that I think you watch anyway because they're so over-the-top.
Then we had a Christopher Daniels promo for no apparent reason, if he's got too old, if he's not able to do it anymore.
Second Muir. No, we don't. Before that, we had Matt Hardy.
Oh, God, yeah, we did, didn't we? Sorry. Go on, then.
So, onto that's literally the only note I've got in existence.
Yeah, I didn't even write that down, so here we are, mate. That's how great that segment was.
Hardy is losing me lately.
He hasn't been great in AEW, I'm not going to lie, boys.
He needs to go back to being broken.
Yeah.
People enjoyed it. Christopher Daniels, on the other hand, I thought it was a really good.
It was great promo.
I just think it should have been on a show.
I don't know the relevance of 17, but I don't know Christopher Daniels that greatly because I didn't watch much TNA, so
the 17 reference, Morg?
No idea.
Okay, cool.
Hey, cool.
Then we got to my favourite segment of the Dark Order.
Brody has a massive dick.
No.
First,
we had them singing Cody Rhodes' song with Silver doing that.
Yeah.
There's more than one royal wrestling family or whatever. And that just fucking ruined me. And then Brody comes in. Sorry.
Brody's dick is so big it breaks Reynolds' internet
It breaks
connection.
technology, mate. His dick's that big.
So as our social media Twitter person, Strange, there is a mission that you must go on. You must now tweet out to the best friends that they must settle the argument, as they are the ones that have seen Hangman Adam Page's penis.
Good point.
True.
They
Also, then we can get the Batista scale as well.
yeah. And also, the flip side of this is, if they do that on BTE, we know damn well they're listening to us.
Tony, you son of a bitch.
I loved the fake Cody Rhodes song that they sung for.
Who's the one? No, no, no. Yeah, it was fucking great. They're having so much fun. It's so infectious.
And then fucking I think that's when Stu got annihilated by Anna Jay anyway. And then we had a public swole announcement about driving. She's got jokes from 1980s, boys. Come on, what else you got?
Yeah, that.
I don't drive.
Yeah.
Have you heard airplane food? That's what it felt like. It felt like a Seinfeld joke. It was like, come on, Swole, you're better than this, love. Then we had the Sour Patch promo.
I mean, Eddie wasn't on the top of his game because you could tell he was a bit pissed.
Still good.
Yeah.
But still good. And if they keep doing this, just throwing things at Eddie and making him promo.
It's a great segment. It just shows his chops, doesn't it, really?
Exactly. The boy is... I mean, I think I've instantly become a fan of his.
And then we had probably my favourite segment of the best friends with John Silver. See?
Seems like a murderer. Who's Brandon?
I like how he just went whole hog into murdering Brandon, you know?
The best bit was when fucking Chuck had him in like a headlock and then it became a hug and Silver was stroking his arm.
Yes.
There was some joke about Devin as well, which made me laugh. I can't remember off the top, but there was a little in-joke about wrestlers and I had a hearty chortle.
And then there was he's a little muscle pervert, which made me laugh as well.
To make it sexual, all the indie lads are properly getting together now. You can see it. All the like Chikari, PWG boys, they're getting their groove on, and they're getting
exactly. They're getting into their groove, and they're just allowed to do what the fuck they want on BTE. So they're just trying whatever and seeing what sticks. It's great.
So overall score for BTE this week, for me, I think it was a C. I think it was a lot more miss than hit.
It had some bad segments, and that box segment at the start really leaves you a bad taste in your mouth. If you skip that, I think it would almost be a B, but that segment at the start.
C with A moments, but it's more C than A, so it doesn't quite get knocked up into that B level. It's sort of hills and valleys.
100%.
Underneath their own channel.
Yeah.
So, moving on now to Dark, which was another extended Dark. AEW, we love you, but
I've got the shit to do. I've got college work, other things I like to do with my life than watch wrestling. Please.
So
I was gonna watch this on Wednesday morning. I clicked play, and it opens with Excalibur going, "Welcome to this supersized Dark," and I just stopped it and didn't watch it till Thursday. I was like, no, not today, no.
Back in the day, wrestling shows used to be an hour long for like the only show that they did. And now it's this. We have like 5 hours. It's bloody ludicrous.
Morg, take back over. Take the reins.
So, well, it's Dark. So this is your baby. So, what did you think of Dark overall? And I know you normally like to do a run through of the matches.
I'm on it. We open obviously Spears on commentary, feud time. I'll take a Dark feud. Fucking give me some love. Why the fuck not? And we lead in with Roses and Rising versus SCU.
Solid enough.
Which it was fine. I just didn't.
No,
care.
I just don't give a shit. SCU were obviously winning. It was obviously,
Vector match. It was a warm up for the plot. I'm just glad they're keeping Rising around. I think he's wicked. Seeing him dancing and stuff on Dynamite as well.
Mid-card to low-card character. He's just perfect.
Where is he? Then we had a Silver promo, which was him shouting about hating Colt, if I recall.
And then we had Ricky come out.
Yeah, come out for
commentary. He hadn't had a shirt. I like the Taz and his banter.
And
I
then
really enjoyed that. Then we had the women's match, which I've just got as women's match. I can't remember. It was
versus
God,
Ford.
a Joshi
I
match
got
died for this
excited.
match.
I got excited. I saw this new talent. I heard her music, and I was like, "This is pretty dope." And then the match was
Mate,
awful.
that was
Not many matches I'll say avoid. Don't watch this match if you like women's wrestling.
No, it's awful.
Sounds a bit harsh. So I'm just going to ignore any further comments and roll on.
I thought you wanted me to give my review of that one.
Oh
Go
yeah,
on,
go on,
Morg.
Morg. Sorry, I forgot. I was so disappointed.
The best thing I could
it.
say was I like her hair.
Wow.
That was
Morg.
my review of that match.
Okay.
It was
Gosh.
awful. Mabadu and Bishop King versus the Best Friends. How much political clout does Bishop King wield?
As a bishop and a king. Well, it means that he
How does
has
he move in chess?
monarchy of his own nation, depending on what sort of levels of absolute monarchy he has. And then he also has high powers of being probably the highest bishop in his thing, so head of his church. So, yeah, pretty high.
Forgot you're a history nerd. How does he move in chess? Does he just move like one horizontally and vertically, but infinite diagonally?
No, he can
The
only
matches
move
go, yeah.
diagonally, and it only moves one.
No, but a bishop can move fully
Oh shit!
diagonally.
All of their weaknesses, none of their strengths.
Bishop, he would have both of their strengths. He'd basically be a queen.
Fair. Anyway, this was solid.
was quite
This was
good,
solid
wasn't it?
enough. They put Mabadu
Yep.
over again. I think they're trying to train Trent to be in the main event, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking at this, he's been talking more on microphones. He's been looking at the camera and saying things in the
And he
ring.
does hate
And
tag
up until
team
this point,
wrestling.
and all we've seen in other moments up to this point is Trent walk to ring, fight like Japanese wrestler, leave. That's what Trent
Because
does.
Trent is moving up to single, so Ricochet has a spot on the roster, teaming with Chucky. All right?
I'm also going to sort of back this up though with the fact that Trent was in Eddie's promo class on last week's, the week before's BTE, and on this week's, which we reviewed this time, it was him who took the sweets and threw them at Eddie, saying promo time. I reckon Eddie's teaching Trent to promo.
Would make a lot of sense.
On to Brandon's promo.
Oh God,
I can't take him seriously. He's too lovely. He's got
no bite, has he? No bite at all.
He's got menace in his voice.
I do have a note for this.
Yeah?
Oh my God, a promo.
Yeah, fair point. Well made. Yeah, we sort of overlooked the fact there was a promo. Yeah, good point. No.
Two now. 2 sections of actual story, which we should be applauding. We've bitched about.
No, it was like a fine enough promo, and I'm glad that we're seeing it, but he needs a bit more edge.
Brandon needs Avalon. He needs Avalon. He needs him.
So
Brandon, Avalon's nice shitty now.
So my notes for this is: oh my God, a promo.
Yep.
Oh my God, 2 promos. 3 promos. Why are they using the not so good promo of each of the group, and then Brandy saved the day?
Yeah, fair cop, fair. That's not a bad point. That's the nightmare, people. We'll get to that in a bit. Right, more on that later. 15 versus Jurassic Express. My absolute favorite moment of this match is 2 episodes back. Excalibur shouted, "He's dropping dimes." 10 did his spine buster.
Yep.
And whilst commentating on this match, Ricky Starks just went, Dimes just did this, and had to be corrected to 10.
Yep.
So I think 10's nickname behind the scenes is literally Dimes.
I mean, he is Dimes.
Right, anyway, on to this review. Apparently my final comment is meh to fine. So as much as I've just hyped it up, here we go. 5 running from Dean was great. I loved it. Dean actually stumbled a bit, though. Which was, sorry, I should say Dinosaur, Luchasaurus. Sorry. All my notes just say it's much quicker to write Dean in notes.
Yeah, I get you.
The fact that Angels basically, sold him as a giant thing, but Dean wasn't as Luchasaurus wasn't at his smoothest.
No, it wasn't.
And the guys, they were a bit too spotty for their familiarity level. Is probably the best way to put it. Trying to go for a lot of cool things, and they don't know each other that well.
They should have gone for a more simple but effective match where they could pull off with less experience with each other. Definitely would have helped.
I don't get me wrong, it picks up a lot better in the second half of this when they really get into it. I think the turning point is when 5 did this bottom rope outside sweep thing where he sort of span round and took out Luchasaurus's legs, I believe, like a huge spin. And from there it went up. Dean's Luchasaurus's pop-up shoulder slam thing is fucking wicked.
Yeah, it is.
A bit. I kind of hoped it would be a win for
15, yeah.
Yeah, so then we can have kind of a faces have to unite against the heel thing, but I understand Jurassic Express haven't had a lot of wins, to be honest.
It's true, but faces don't lose. What you're talking about? You're crazy.
Don't begrudge Jurassic Express for it.
No, they don't
haven't crossed the Nightmare People barrier. You think they're more in it, Morg?
No, not really. It was an okay match. I enjoyed it. I liked Jurassic Express. The commentary was good on it.
So, Gun Club versus Dean and... Who was Dean with?
Lethentico promo.
Oh, sorry.
I have had up and down opinions of Luther. Yeah. This promo was not good. Should have gone with the shrieky maniac he is in the ring. If he'd just come out and gone, you slaughter stuff with Serpentico looking venomy, I'd probably have laughed through it and taken them as crazy people. Go for a bit of that old school mental boy. We can deal it. We made it through Al Snow and Mankind and everything else.
I'd be down with that.
But now we are on to Dean, the captain, and Cesar Bononi versus the Guns. And is this my only recommended match in this?
No, I recommended Tay Conte and Red Velvet. It was the best match of the night.
No, good point. This is one of the only 2 matches I would say go out of the way to watch. Firstly, Cesar Bononi looks amazing.
He walked out. Don't he?
I was like, the Guns have got an actual intro and their music's cool. Billy always loves having a good big lad off, and he's had a good time with it. You know, I did feel a bit bad for Dean. Dean ate a lot of shit for everybody else to look good.
Poor Dean. Forever eating shit. My main question of this: why haven't the Gun Club had a tag team champions chance? Because they're 7-0 or 8-0.
Will be the next storyline. They've been saying maybe somebody should listen, or maybe somebody should take notice for a while to the camera. That's
fair enough.
Standard issue wrestling thing. Yeah. I have lots of wins. When will people take notice? Maybe it's bias in the company. But I enjoyed this.
They matter, damn it.
But they also don't. But you also get an arbitrary power level assigned to you, which dictates how much your win and loss matters.
You're not wrong.
If they'd have just come out and gone, AEW is a Dragon Ball Z style presentation on rankings, I'd have just gone, yes, fucking do it.
You have beaten strong character. You are higher in the rankings. Simple.
It wasn't the perfect match, but it was good. It was a good laugh. I always enjoy watching the Guns. I would recommend watching this match.
I always recommend the Gun Club, though, because they're always a great laugh.
As much as I was critical of Billy Gunn a couple of weeks ago, I have done that AEW thing, what we do, where I am starting to, because I liked him in DX because DX was one of my favorite factions, and I quite liked him in the New Age Outlaws. They were a great couple of heels when they first started, but he never set the world afire for me. And there's just, I'm seeing that charisma and everything that people talked about at the time.
Kind of works better in this big veteran sort of attitude, if you ask me. I never got him back then, but now he's smiley dad man who happens to be massive, and I'm like, go on, lad, and he loves it.
And I like the whole thing of Austin's impetuousness causing him issues and him having to carry him in matches and stuff like that. I really like the whole dynamic they've got going on.
There was good story in this match as well. The story in the match, not necessarily a big storyline outside it, which you don't need if you can put a story in the match and get that story over to me.
Hopefully we'll see more of them. I think they're going to be a big push in show 2 for Billy to get his son over.
Yeah,
basically. They're going to Rey. They're going to. What's Rey Mysterio's son name? Dominic. I should know that. It's my favorite match. I just thought about it.
Yeah, I also think Austin Gunn has a bit of a future, certainly a mid-card future.
Better than Dominic, anyway.
Wait, Nightmare People promo.
There's Brandy. So
QT stumbled his words at the start. That numbers.
I hate the Nightmare people, boys. I can't say a good thing about them. I hate them too much.
I stick with my earlier comment. Brandy to the rescue.
Yeah, she's the only good thing about this.
She did say Anna Jay isn't here when we had quite clearly seen Anna Jay earlier on.
And I believe we saw her
literally
right
after this promo.
Yep.
Genius.
Maybe she meant Anna Jay wasn't here now.
Literally here at this
she
current
is not
second.
instantly with me. Right. It was a promo, not the best one of the night. Rolling into a match I really enjoyed. Red Velvet versus Tay.
Yeah, such sort of shoulders,
Velvet.
Red Velvet carrying this division.
Tay was winning me over this. I love the fact that she did a different style of throw to everybody else. She did the over the shoulder drop one.
Me chopping you chopping me.
I love it.
Mate.
This is I always pop for a Tom and Aggie after I took one in high school. So that's
Nah, she's great. I love Tay and I love Red Velvet. I'd happily see these.
Red Velvet's leg lariat is up there as one of my favorite things to watch in the ring. It's entered the same category as Trent's Hurricane DDT and Shingo's lariat. She properly gets up, kicks, and flips over backwards. It's
criminal that she's on the second show. Criminal compared to some of the other ladies on the main show.
Well, I
can tell
wonder if she's about to get her push. I wonder.
Brandy.
Yeah. Carrying Brandy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She's a better tag team partner for Brandy.
Oh, yeah. Well, she can carry her.
Cheers.
Because they can be baby faces. She's a better baby face.
Exactly.
So Blondes versus Chaos. Is that next?
No, wait. I'm not done with that last one. I want to give a special shout out for Tay Conte, who clearly loves Japan, having a submission finisher that really looks like it hurts.
Yeah, fair point. No, she does have a.
I saw that finisher, and I'm not a submission finisher man. I think they can be a bit dull. And I saw her lock that in, and I was like, "Oof, ow, my spine."
Nah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. There was very little wasted movement in the whole match, and we had some possible storylines set up. I think I'd actually now Anna Jay has beaten Brandy. Fuck that storyline off. I know we've still got Cody's got to deal with Brody, but I think I'd rather see Tay and Anna Jay feud. I think because the look that Tay gave when Anna Jay flattened Red Velvet, I really liked. Like, oh, now that was interesting. Well, I'm not sure about this. Maybe I'm not. I like you, but maybe I'm not down with this Dark Order thing.
Terrible for recruiting though. Like she went and gave her a hand, she took it. Like if you're recruiting for a cult and that one person's gonna like it if you pick up this other woman who's probably the best wrestler you've seen with your eyes, then surely you just recruit both. I don't understand why she beat her up. It seemed unnecessary.
Like I'd almost say that match could have been on Stardom and it wouldn't have sat out of place. I think it would have held its own versus some of the best women's wrestling out there, in all honesty.
Right, we're gonna have to stop frothing about this. Oh no, go on, Morg. One last thing.
So I just wanted to say that where was this Tay Conte back? I mean, I liked her in NXT, but she wasn't one of my favorites.
She was still doing forward rolls then. She hadn't mastered it for 10 years.
Yeah, that's true. But
is a Japanese style. No.
Her judo background. I mean, she's come out in her judo kit.
Because they can't do non-American wrestling in WWE. They have to do American wrestling.
Boys, I'm calling it on that match. It was great. We're looking forward to more from them. Griffin Pillman versus Luthentico. I like the streamer attack opening.
That was good.
Griff Garrison and Pillman's intro music is Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue.
Hey, you found one for me to note now. Now we've got Bon Jovi for When He Dies. Big lad.
Lance Archer.
And we've got Postman Pat for the Nightmare for my people, specifically Dustin. And now we've got Shout at the Devil, which pleases me. But rolling into the match, it wasn't great. It was all right. Serpentico doing a Hurricanrana with all the streamers on looked fucking cool, though. And I like their weapons. Luther uses Serpentico as a weapon style. I think that's really cool. Pillman ate a lot of shit for who I assume was going to be a rising star. And Griff's sit-down facebuster thing is fucking wicked, but the match overall was okay.
there was the main thing.
I think it's that problem we have with Luther, where his style clashes a bit.
Yeah, no, it just didn't quite work as a. Who knows? Maybe they'll get more used to each other. But I assume Jericho's going to be.
It's not good at.
More on that later. Ricochet versus Nyla. My first notes on this is just me screaming. Lots of A's.
Fair.
I thought you'd be quite pleased about this because of your most hated wrestler was about to face Nyla Rose, who was effectively just going to eat her.
No, I kind of. My anger with Ricochet is the fact that she's technically fine. Every move she does is fine enough. And the blonde hair has actually helped her look a bit. It helps her stand out. And don't get me wrong, watching her get smashed was great. But I also hate the sound of Vicky Guerrero's voice.
Hey.
I'm going to have to let you two review
this. Was not a good combination for you, was it?
I just don't like it.
I've got the word hate written like 4 times on these 4 lines of notes.
So my notes are good heel work from Nyla. Ricochet was a lot smoother, but it was still a squash.
I just don't want to see Vicky Guerrero with not a shit-eating male heel, because that's how she works. I don't know.
She so needs to be. If you're gonna put her with anyone, and he doesn't need it, it's Sammy. Sammy is the perfect guy for her.
Either
or Ricky Starks.
Yeah, but hey. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's move on to the finale. The Dark Order versus the Nightmare People. Ruth's quote at the start of this one was, Dustin doesn't put anyone over, so they're winning.
Yes, mate.
At least AEW knows Silver's over. He got like a big push and a lot of attention for being shown as who he is. QT fucking put him over.
He did.
QT's a good lad for that. And, Dustin comes out. My last three notes are, Dustin too strong, please nerf. He was not trying to get Silver off his legs. And, of course, those are my last notes. If anybody wants to add anything to this,
Dynamite.
I think you've summed it up. Overall score for Dark this week.
I'm not even going to give it an overall score. I'm going to say, if you like wrestling and you want to watch some wrestling from Dark, watch Caesar versus the Guns and Red Velvet versus Tay, and you will have a lovely time and see a lot of exciting wrestling and some new names doing cool
100%.
stuff. Don't bother watching the rest of the show. Maybe skip to the promos if you're that interested.
It's really not worth it.
No.
A D with a couple of A's in there, basically.
Yeah, not a good Dark. So moving on to Dynamite. I'm going to preface this with me and the Raptor. I think we're a bit wrestling starved, and we really enjoyed this Dark. So there might be a lot of high marks here.
The Dynamite, not the Dark.
Dynamite, sorry, we really enjoyed this Dynamite. Starts off JR, Taz, and Excalibur on commentary, and we open up with Ricky Starks versus Darby Allin. Then we had a quick promo, which was someone who might be famous, does a good Guinness advert.
Who?
And then Darby wins with the coffin drop. What did you think of the match, and what score did you give the match?
Glad the body bag didn't get used. Because I hate the body bag thing, because if you've got a weapon, it's your weapon. Steve Blackman used kendo stick, used Carly sticks. Cool, Steve Blackman. Aldo have head. Brilliant. People bring body bags to fight to fight Darby Allin?
Why would you bring a body?
If I knew one guy was specifically good at taking hits in a body bag, I wouldn't bring a body bag. I'd bring a bin or something.
Yeah, I'd bring something different. To hinder his power level.
The Guinness advert was pointless, as I had no idea who that man was, why he was saying these words, or why I should care. But the actual match was good. I enjoyed it.
It was a solid
Allin's rolling kick thing was wicked. I had a strong start from Darby. He had the thing. Didn't really feel the Cage Hobbs moment.
No.
Because it was like 20 seconds. Cage ran out, and I went, oh, cool, Cage. Then Hobbs ran out, and I went, oh, cool, Hobbs. And then they were gone.
They just walked back out. Pretty much just wandered back in. That's enough of that attraction. Move on.
To be fair, I didn't mind that. I liked it because it continued that that storyline, and it's all setting up for Pac to come and join the Misfits. That's what we are now calling them.
Do more with it or don't have it. I don't need to know
Well,
Cage is in a feud with
we
them.
know-
Taz talks about it all the time.
The thing is, we know Cage is going to come out, so it was just nice to see, just to counteract that. So, because we could have also been sitting here and going, well, why didn't Cage come out? Why didn't Hobbs come out? There you go. They came out, but I think you've probably been better off. You'd have been better off having them both at ringside.
Yeah.
Anything that it was just an unnecessarily.
You could have had Ricky Starks come out and then go, oh, and I'm going to have Cage with me at ringside. Oh, add an extra dimension to this, to the payoff match, which is what this was. And then you can have Darby come out. You could have even have gone a minute or two and Cage starts to get involved, and then had Will Hobbs come out, and then you could have made Will Hobbs look even stronger as well. So I think that's what I would have done. I'd have gone for a classic.
Like, I'll always
Wrestler
pop for Hobbs because he makes me
He's
infused.
beautiful.
when I see him running out.
Wrestler who is my mate now is in my corner watching my back, and even better when you get a baby face one who comes out sort of maybe 2 minutes into the match and goes, no, I've had enough of this, I'm going to stand over here, and I'm not a little guy that you can push around. Bingo. So yeah, but
I've just realised Hobbs has made it onto my beautiful wrestlers list.
Yeah, I heard.
He's getting the description now, so that's him, Sky, Butcher, and Starks, I think, are the ones who always get the description.
The spear that Starks did when Darby came off the ropes was really good.
Caught him out the air.
It was great.
Fucking gold.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like they hate each other anymore, which is kind of nice. I feel the ending may have been a little bit too sharp and out of nowhere. Otherwise, I haven't got a lot of notes. I just kind of enjoyed it.
Solid start.
Arguably, it's a B. It's got storyline. The wrestling was good, but I don't know, it just didn't quite grab me, so I ranked it as a C. Arguably, by my own scale, it's a B.
I put it as a C also because I felt like it felt like a weak blow off to this feud. If this is the blow off to it, but I don't know. I don't think that. I don't like baby faces going over at the start of the feud.
Works. Cage beats Hobbs, it works. One half of each team has.
Okay, yeah, fair.
I don't think. Yeah, if this is all because this could still all be setting up for the match.
Yeah.
When Lance can come back, so then we're on an even footing.
I think this may be the new, not Stadium Stampede, War Games. I think this.
Yeah.
I think this may be building up to their first War Games.
So I gave it A/B. I really enjoyed this match.
Okay.
That is possibly coloured by probably my favourite babyface in the company winning.
Fair.
And, so I will be honest, and was pleased with a correct babyface win, if that makes sense.
Nightmare people.
And actually, it's a correct babyface win because this should have been all the shit that Ricky Starks had been proper heelish, been a complete dick. And
was just having a bit of a laugh. I think you've been a bit harsh to him. It was just a bit
I think he's been a complete dick. And he's got his comeuppance from the babyface. That is proper wrestling. So I really enjoyed this.
To give it a B, I am going to play devil's advocate, though, that although Starks has been a massive dick to Darby Allin, every actual encounter they've had, Darby Allin has won. In a one-on-one situation.
Especially the one where he flew him out of his shoes and no one came to help Starks. That's still my favourite one.
Good match. I don't know, maybe I could have done with a better promo at the start to warm me into it a bit more, rather than some who.
Yeah. Anyway.
We're going to go with the B, boys. We're caught between it on the scale.
These bat boys. It's Cody.
So, we have a Cody promo. Cody accepts the dog collar match, Brody running, and then all hell breaks loose. What did you think of the promo? Did you give it a rank?
I loved how Brody just kept coming back during the fight. I thought that was great.
Ruth described him as drunk man at a pub, Brody. Now, I don't know if you've ever worked in a pub and you've had to throw out a particularly fighty man, but they will find a way back in through that back door. You'll look away, they'll be in. That's what fucking Brody was doing. This full drunk man at the Angel in Bewdley.
Yeah, mate. It was
Saturday night.
It was great. My only downside to this was the random adding of the women for no reason. It just took away from this.
I did Nyla stomp Kylin. I like Kylin. I like Nyla. I have not seen any
hatred or animosity.
I'm up for a feud between the Beast Nyla and the Giant.
They could have had their own segment to do this, or
they should probably actually fall out in a fallout situation as opposed to now we are enemies.
No, this is interesting because the Raptor really liked this because she liked the fact that you had other wrestlers, because you've got wrestlers all around that ringside, that someone took advantage of a moment to start something or to take down a possible future opponent.
Yeah, okay. But also, how is Brandy so strong to knock over the entire team of the Dark Order when they were prepared for her?
I did hate that.
How is she that powerful? Like, they should have just grabbed her and gone, nah, mate.
No, we've already said it earlier on.
Women are too powerful.
Women wrestlers are too powerful for the men.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but
it still
ruined the moment when they're trying to show off this dog collar match moment, and then suddenly Brandy's here, being Brandy.
I think this started better than it finished, basically.
Yeah.
It just...
It went on too long.
Was a Cody promo. It was great, but, you know.
Cody's great. Stars rain down around Cody. Stars rain down around Brody.
I liked the misdirect. Because it threw me.
That suit was gorgeous, and I would have that suit in a heartbeat.
Whose suit?
Brody's. That fucking great green
the Raptor
one.
fucking thought it was terrible.
And
I was like, he always wears that. But yeah.
He looked like a giant geography teacher.
Let's move back on. So next we had an FTR backstage promo. Any thoughts?
Bored of them.
They're getting better. I'm not really the biggest FTR promo fan. They say old things, and it was all right. And then Matt ran in and fucking kicked somebody and fucked off, and I started laughing hard.
Made me fucking pissed because it just reminds me of like any time we're in a situation or something, just cause trouble and run.
Hello, listeners. We're very big role players and LARPers, and we do have a habit of just playing people who will break phones or start a rook and intentionally ruin things. So this is that. Every time I watch these, I go, Matt is playing Kale, and it pleases me greatly.
Yes.
Just run.
So following the FTR backstage promo, we had an SCU backstage promo. Again, any thoughts on it?
Kaz said the checkers chess thing that Starks did on Dark. I noticed that. Which kind of ruined it for me because then I'd heard the same line like twice in a day. It was fine, but the spears waiting organically and making that was perfectly done. And I am now intrigued in what's going to go on between them. The fact he was just there and just went, good luck, and they didn't overplay it. He looked organic. The camera followed him. I really liked this moment.
He was just being a shitty heel, just standing there. You know, it was great.
Because we've built up Sky for so long, now Spears can come back in, and they can actually have a feud where both of them are like the upper mid-card, lower upper card level. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, no, they'll be fantastic together as well, because they're both fantastic wrestlers.
Yeah, I think that's going to leave some good matches. So SCU versus FTR for the tag team championship. FTR win with an assisted pin. I've got my main note here is good old school heel work, and Tully is the best of the old managers. He is the one that actually feel his worth.
Yeah.
And the Raptor agreed with me on this as well.
Had the very unprepared Hangman on commentary.
He explained the plot so well, and he was fucking hilarious. Hey, Doc, can you get me a drink? I wanted to do picture-in-picture. I love him. He's great. And Hangman side with the Omega announcement at the end and stuff was just really well done. So I'm just going to shout all that out now. That was
more
cool.
Great Hangman acting as well. Me and the Raptor both said, if ever he decides to go into acting.
Yeah, and this was just a great match.
It was just brilliant. I love the fake trip from FTR. There was a lot of inventive healing in this. There was a lot of cool, different moments. Kaz slapping one of FTR's ass and running round to Scorpio and Tope that made me laugh.
That was beautiful, yeah.
It did slow down a bit during the break, but you expect that. Scorpio is obviously a beautiful, smooth, feline, tiger-like man who I love watching.
That's just fantastic.
He's on the beautiful list. This is great. He's not beautiful, though. The double pin was fun. It didn't annoy me. But Kaz at one point hit Scorpio to knock him off the apron, and Scorpio fucking flew. It was like a game glitch. It was like he was hit wrong in Skyrim. He fucking flies off that
into
ring
space.
Apron. Yeah, exactly.
Going past Randy Orton and Edge.
They're still going. The Kaz catch on the finisher into the power slam was dope. Scorpio pin roll combos was wicked.
Just great.
And the dirty win was good, even if it was really obvious that Scorpio's other foot did hit the rope. I gave this a high B. I really enjoyed this, and it was just great.
It was a very, very, very solid B.
B/A from me.
I think it would have been, I don't know. I almost think it would have been better if it went to time and they won through time, but I'm not sure.
That, I think, would have made it an A, because I was looking forward with SCU. I was looking forward to 20 minutes draw.
You see, I'm the other way, because they said they've only got the 20-minute match limit, and I went in going, this first match is going to be a 20-minute tag limit thing. They're going to show the rule in action in the first one. So they actually kind of broke my expectations a little bit.
But I think maybe saving SCU for that 20-minute would have been better because of their power level, you know? But I don't know. It was good. Anyway, it was a great match. Definitely watch this one.
The end of this match is where I started singing "No One Knows What It's Like to Be the Hangman," though. The sad man. And he has blue eyes.
Poor Hangman. I feel bad for him every day that I see him.
So moving on, next is Isaiah Cassidy with Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn versus Jericho with the entire of the Inner Circle. Jericho with what was our overall score for the last match?
High B.
I think we've got a B, but it's a nice high B. So I'm going to give it a little B plus in case it comes to maths, which I do with letters.
Jericho wins with the Judas effect. What did you think of the match, and what score did you give it?
Good enough.
Who is Chris Hardy?
Good old Chris Hardy, the third Hardy boy. Don't you remember? God.
Bless Jericho putting over Cassidy so well. They're not too smooth together, don't get me wrong.
You did all of
Cassidy almost...
He did all of Jericho's finishes really well, though. He did a nice code breaker.
Yeah.
There was one moment where Cassidy almost drilled himself into the center of the earth, and he phoenixed himself over the ropes and almost went into the ground. He was spinning. I was like, he's going to drill, mate. He's going to pierce the heavens.
Sorry.
A couple of vertical moves didn't go too well, but they sold it well when things went wrong. There were two X-Pac ass splitters as well, which is fucking bold.
Busters.
Yeah, mate. I wouldn't. Having seen what happened to X-Pac, I would not throw myself at those turnbuckles. I like having an anus that's, anus. Picked up at the end. It was a bit clumsy, but not enough to ruin it, if I'm honest. I almost reached my kick-out limit. I gave it a C, but I think it would have been a B if it would have just been a bit smoother and just a bit more together.
I think it's a solid C. I think it's what we should expect from them. As not to sound harsh or anything, but I think we expect the best wrestling we're going to see on this show, and it was really good. And I think it was a C.
Like I said, we really enjoyed this whole thing. I gave it a B. I really enjoyed this match. There was lots of high flying, seeing how much Jericho was putting over the young talent, and basically doing exactly the thing that Matt Hardy has been criticizing him for not doing, which I think is hilarious.
Well,
on a meta level, obviously in character he isn't, so it works. I'm not, it's not breaking my sense of disbelief of Matt Hardy calling Jericho out. The use of Jericho's finishers by Cassidy, that's a big thing because you've got permission from Jericho to do that, and possibly even knowing Jericho his suggestion.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I really enjoyed it. We thoroughly enjoyed this match. But due to the voting, it will be a C.
Enjoyed the dubsy-dubness at the end. I'm looking forward to Serpentico getting over.
Yes, we didn't. I didn't touch on this. So during the match, we got really confused because Jericho and Chaos Project Luther had a bit of a set to, and then that turned into a proper full-on set to afterwards. And we then found out that Luther is an ex-Heart Dungeon trainee around about the same time as Jericho was, and there will be a match between them next week. I'm wondering if this might be the match where we'll see a bit of the spark for Luther, whether he's got the right opponent with Jericho.
Oh,
So.
maybe, but they're good mates, so I'm willing to accept Luther to get Jericho. So, you know.
Jericho can put anyone over, and this will be just to build Serpentico for in a few years.
Exactly that.
And as much as I didn't like Serpentico at the start, he's really
he's
over. He's
great.
very wobbly and very comedy. He'll be a great, he'll be like a great 90s Jericho sort of comedy guy who can lose a bit and
the fact that he's playing two characters
on
at the same time's, fucking good work, mate.
Great.
So following on from that, we had a Kip and Miro video segment. What did you think? Did you give it a score?
Cool. Some guy is going to be in
King
a
of
thing.
Kong. Don't you know who the King of Kong is? God. Jeez.
I like Computer Game. This was a very well shot, very well produced promo. The video package. The editing was good. The camera work and lighting was solid. The clipping between Miro beating
everything.
Things.
Yeah.
Great. If this promo, this video package had any substance that I cared about, would have been like a high BA ranking.
I think it's setting up for the Miro face turn.
But why is Billy Mitchell on there?
I've got no idea.
Okay.
Unless he takes Kip with him, what's the point? He just here's my friend. We have some promos together. Now he has beaten me and gone face. Like, I'm with you, but
but
it needs soul because at the moment it's just
the idea of Miro being in over his head and things like that, I thought it just made him look very human. So I think this is I still don't think they know, and I know they made the joke in BTE about this, and I mentioned it last week. I don't think they've decided whether they want Miro to be a face or heel yet, and they're kind of gone to him just play some kind of generic tweener at the minute. Play everything.
As long as they don't sacrifice Kip for him. If they sacrifice Kip for just to get him in, if this is all just a pointless vector for Miro to become a face and beat Kip or ruin the wedding, it's gonna need something special for me to not hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
You're basically killing the guy that won the first match ever of AEW. You're sacrificing just to get
is ex-WWE TNA hotshotting, basically.
That's what it will be if they just do that. But I really do enjoy that he's got no self-confidence, but he's like fantastic at everything he does. I kind of think that's an interesting character. It's not something you see, you know?
Yeah. That's quite nice. To be honest, I don't think it's going to be a sacrificing of Kip. I fully expect that we're going to see a Kip face turn as well, and that as a tag team, they're going to both turn.
Be solid. I'll be happy with that. But
Kip's.
I just have one.
Right, we should roll on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Following on from that, we had a best friends backstage promo.
You know how powerful Trent is. S.
Goddamn weenies.
I loved it. Was what you guys are gonna? If there's any shit talking about this, I've just shit.
My only question: are they gonna give the best friends the belt? Are they building the best friends to beat FDR? Because I'll fucking pop.
Could you imagine?
Well, see, I would say the problem you've got at the minute, and I was saying this to the Raptor, how is heel Bucks going to dethrone mega heel FTR? Because that's as much as I want to see Bucks versus FTR, I really don't want to see FTR are being such good douchebag heels at the minute. They fucked over
face or heel versus heel work just to,
Yeah, I mean, they've screwed over Hangman.
Yeah,
arguably my second favorite face. He's in my top three faces. I can't choose between my top three faces in AEWs. So they've screwed over Hangman, so there's good reason to hate them. They've been absolute douchebags. They are being really good old school heels, which is what they're really good at. I really don't want to see heel Bucks unless it's going to be badass babyface Bucks.
Beat them, yeah.
In which case, if that's where we're going with it, and it ends up being badass babyface Bucks, and all they're doing is, with all this super kicking everyone, is getting their badassness back. But I need to see some actual babyfaceness out of it. I need to see a
Damn
run
baby
into...
face fans.
Yeah, I need to see
this
a run
is the best friend tweener time.
I'm so down with that.
Back onto it. So maybe best friends are the best option to dethrone them.
It would be so good for them.
And then
They've never had
this is where the bad bit comes, you see, and I think you'd hate it, because what I would do,
a short run, and
I wouldn't even have it. I would, a week.
I'm down with them only having it for a very short time.
So you properly hate the Bucks for it.
You have them kill Chucky, so then Trent can go on a singles run afterwards as revenge.
No, they get their mate Brandon to kill Chucky to stop him from trying to kill Brandon.
It all comes back. Anyway.
God, I love it.
So following on
everything there.
Following on, we had Orange Cassidy with the best friends versus 10 with Colt Silver and 5. Cassidy wins. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
I really enjoyed this match, but
it was strong. They're just putting John Silver out and everything now. Off you go, John Silver. Have some fun. 10 obviously looks great. His slams are amazing. He's got this delay on his slams that's beautiful. Like he hangs. Yeah. He just hangs for like a split second on everything, and it's fucking perfect. The Dio were having a great time. They're always having good fun. 10 looked great. This is what I want from a squash match, if I'm honest. Yep. I want them to look good. I don't want to walk out going, he just kicked his fucking ass. 10 looked wicked. Everybody on commentary put him over. I only gave it a C because I didn't really think it went above a C, but it was a nice, solid, good match for me.
I really liked the beach break. I thought that was really smooth. I really enjoyed that as a finish as well. And you didn't even mention the Dark Order hug. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
What's the point of having you?
I can't comment. I'd watched like 6 hours of wrestling.
I did like the dive over the top. There was no wobbly dance because they got all the timing was absolutely perfect on it. If you know what I mean, because there was the distraction, and they were distracted, and they were looking over there. Their timing was and then they turned around and got jumped on, and it was that was absolutely bang on. Solid. No wobbly dance. Yep. That won an extra point for me.
It's so good.
It's true. Did you give it then?
So I really enjoyed this match, but didn't give it a rank. I think it was just by accident. I think it was a C. I think
because it's still a squash at heart.
But again, yeah, but it was a good one that didn't like cost anybody anything. It wasn't soulless. Building 10.
Moving on next, we had MJF and the Inner Circle promo. What did you think of the promo, and did you give it a score? Now, we're usually a little bit careful when it's MJF or Jericho. They certain wrestlers that we always just go, it's them. There's like 4 wrestlers where we just go, it's Mox, it's Cody, it's MJF, it's Jericho. It's an A-rank promo unless it's really bad. So what did you think of this?
I'd argue this is one of their weaker moments. Don't get me wrong. They're having a lot of fun. You can tell there's a lot of chemistry amongst them.
Feels a lot like Kevin Owens and Jericho.
I don't know that, so that's not getting my judgment.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that, yeah.
I'm just saying it feels like
just
old
went
ground.
on a bit long.
You know, they're treading at the moment.
Too long for me. The twist is he's just trying to get Wardlow.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I liked the whole. Oh, no, see, me and the Raptor have something for our shared universe here.
Okay.
So I liked the fact that neither guy will back down. They're both too arrogant. Yeah. So neither one. So it's obvious Jericho wants MJF. It's obvious MJF wants to be in the Inner Circle, and I think they should play that up a bit more, make it really obvious. But I think they tell that.
Is it going to go? Because I don't want MJF to be in the Inner Circle.
Well, is he going to replace Sammy? Are we going to see a Sammy face turn? Or is Sammy going to buy out Wardlow's and his family's contract off MJF and Sammy will go off with Wardlow as his sidekick?
That would be a fucking comedy team. The Beast.
It would be my favorite. It would be my favorite kind of tag team. I like a tag team with one big guy and a high flyer.
It's
always
Butcher
my
and the
favorite.
Blade have got over so quick with us, and the Dark Order. They're all similar sort of brawler to
Technico and Aruda
flyer level.
Yeah,
boy. I didn't rank it. I need to see where it's going, basically. They're having fun. Could have been shorter, is my take on it.
100% agree with that. Yeah, it's just, like, I really enjoy it because I love to see these guys talk. They're just great at it. But, I could have done with a bit more concise.
I think also, just for the Sammy thing, I think Jericho stole his line and then cut him off, which I think we just might be setting some seeds for down the line. Following on from that, Britt Baker with Rebel versus Red Velvet. Britt wins with a new finisher. What do you think of the match? Score did you give it?
2 comments on this.
Wasn't it called the cake versus teeth?
Cake versus teeth. My 2 comments were, come on, Red, carry Britt. And she did.
I'm going to say Britt has come back looking buff. You can see the added athleticism on her. It was solid. Velvet's leg lariat came up again. I commented on that. The camera didn't help some of those punches.
No, mate. No, it did not.
Britt's makeup was on point.
Her sling
that was a comment from me and the Raptor. From me and the Raptor.
Her sling blade needs so much work. I would almost say she should drop the sling blade. It doesn't work.
Yeah, she doesn't really do a sling blade, or she didn't seem to do a sling
That's
blade.
what
She
she's
seemed to be
trying,
slightly out of position. Yeah, she seemed to be slightly out of position.
She's got the super kick down, though, so,
To go back to our thing last week of moves I'd like to see less of, actually. The sling blade.
Oh, sling blade, okay.
The sling blade. Everybody
belongs to Pentagon.
Yeah.
Penta's move, and he's wicked at it.
And maybe Finn Balor. Prince Devitt.
No Dimes Devlin. No, but yeah. Sorry about that. Anyway. Yeah, she's good enough. I think she needs to work on her moveset. I feel that she's not there yet, but she'll get there.
I gave this a C.
Also, I enjoyed this match. I'm only criticizing it because I want better out of the 2 of them because I think they can do really well.
So
just Tag versus Velvet.
Yeah, that was the problem. We were ruined by that.
Yeah.
Then we had an Eddie Kingston promo, which was fairly short and sweet. Moving into Mox versus Butcher with an AEW title match. Mox wins with the Bulldog choke. One thing I want to say is the second that they said this, they said Eddie was choosing the opponent. I turned to the Raptor and went, Penta. Please let it be Penta.
Was hoping for Penta.
Yeah, and then Eddie goes, it ain't going to be Penta. And I was like, no, you have missed the old school Penta versus...
The problem is Penta is just better Moxley. He's just Mexican Moxley, but better. That's the problem.
He's Moxley with flair. Well, I'm going to start off by warming up with the Eddie promo. I think they're selling the thugs feel of this group very well. Good. And I kind of like the fact that Eddie appears to become a Warhammer 40k orc. He never loses in battle. You got knocked out? No, I didn't. You were knocked out of this match. Nah, never submitted. I hope that's his thing. Every time he loses, there's a reason.
There's just a reason because orcs never lose, mate.
That'd be really good. I'm down with that.
The reveal of the Butcher behind him was fucking dimes.
It was wicked. Sadly, the match wasn't the best match. It's not the brawl I hoped for. The Butcher, obviously, a being of beauty. He's on my 4 men of beauty list, apparently, that I have established today.
Yeah.
They weren't too smooth together. Weirdly, the Butcher looked to me like he needs to be rougher. Like he was still being a bit gentle and did do a lot of limb work. I like the fact the Butcher knows how to target.
You want to know my main question, Strange? Where is Blade? And also, where is his wife?
His wife.
Blade was off getting his house in order.
I'm aware I'm normally the brawl master of our thing. We've each got our little areas, and it was a little bit Randy Orton for me. It needed a bit more I chopper you chopper me. And I think the Butcher blew himself up a bit early. He looked a bit tired.
Poor lad.
On the other hand, when he did that leg drop, the entire ring shook.
Oh, he's got it. He just needs to get a bit better cardio. If he's going to do singles work, he just needs better cardio. It's just plain and simple.
Again, it's another one of it started really clumsy. By the end, it was solid. Like the corner crossbody and stuff looked wicked, but it took most of the match to get going there. And I think it's a low C for me. And I'm the brawl man.
No, that's interesting. So last week, the Raptor wasn't taken with the brawl match. This week, Raptor enjoyed this match more. I think the limb work and the wrestling helped, as opposed to just the all-out brawling. I gave it a C+. I quite enjoyed it.
I gave it a C, but I was very happy how good Mox put him over, because I think Mox really did help him in this match. And I'm normally a bit of a stickler.
Everybody is putting the butcher over.
I'm a bit of a stickler for Mox sometimes, so I'd like to, just point that out there. That I think he did really well putting him over.
Well, the most critical of Mox out of the three of us, I think. I'm the mid-tier, and likes faces.
Well, to be fair, I like Mox because I see the potential, and I saw a thing online where somebody was talking about that he is the hottest thing in professional wrestling at the minute.
Yeah, I can get you. It's just
a fucking lie. He might be the most popular, but Ricky Starks is the hottest.
Look. So I am instigating now the best friends rule with all Ricky Starks things.
You can't
especially as you are owned by Ricky Starks officially.
That is true.
So therefore,
I'm putting my 4 beautiful men into order now, and Ricky Starks is at the top.
Mount Rushmore of beautiful men.
But Wardlow's not your top one.
How dare you, sir? Anyway, we've broken down here. We should carry on with this review instead of reviewing men.
Well, that is the end of it. So, Mr. Strange, what's our overall for Dynamite? While I screw up your beautiful men by saying, what about Trent?
Oh, Trent's not that. Trent's attractive, but that hairline's going a bit too back, and he's lacking on personality. He's not like the Giga Chad.
Okay, fair enough.
We've technically got a bunch of high C's, a bunch of high B's, and 1 S rank promo. So I think we're in like the high B tier. We've had a good show with a few things that took it a bit down, and a few things that took it up, but it's well worth a watch through all of it.
I need a new notepad.
There were no D's.
No
D's at all.
There were no D's.
The women's match
really good episode.
Were even quite solid in this one. Yeah, it was solid.
Oh shit, Wardlow will start.
Discussion. We're changing it on the fly.
So, if you have any questions for us, if you would like to give us your opinions, what you thought of this week's Dynamite, what you think of AEW in general, if you'd like us to rant about something, talk about something, book something for you, we are wrestleopinionated@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook with WrestleOP and on Twitter with WrestleOP1. Now we are moving on. This week we don't have a rant because we haven't found anything to be particularly angry about. So, Mr. Strange, what are we doing instead?
You are booking on the fly with a wonderful selection of 2 wrestlers that Mr. Muir here has picked for you using his incredible wrestling knowledge and intellect. Who are the targets for today, Mr. Muir?
Well, I kind of picked one and then picked the other out of simplicity.
That's how picking things works.
You have the AJs. That is your choices, Morg.
Jay Styles and AJ Lee.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, are you two going to add to our universe while I have a couple of minutes to think?
Yeah, don't worry, I've got
a second.
Okay, Mr. Muir.
I would just like to point out that while I'd have my think time, I'm usually spending most of it in hysterics while you two do this.
Our job, make it harder for you.
What are we discussing today?
So, Mr. Muir, earlier we discussed the greatest Canadian wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know the most powerful move is the Canadian Destroyer.
Which destroys Canadians, yes.
So I have a list of Canadians for you.
Okay, right.
And I want you to tell me whether they would or would not be destroyed by Dustin doing a Canadian Destroyer. Well, and if not, or if there's any high spots, how it would go. Unless you want to fuck this up. But I've got a great list of Canadians.
You know nobody's going to get put over by Dustin. He's destroying all of them.
Could Dustin Canadian destroy the Canadian Michael J. Fox?
I mean, it would kind of be cruel to do it these days. Are we talking about like when he was in Back to the Future?
Yeah. Okay. Michael J. Fox as the Doctor who gets driven off that road in that famous film, which they based Cars off. His most famous character. Okay. You're not sold on him Canadian destroying Michael J. Fox. Okay, we'll move on to another Canadian. I'll give you a stronger Canadian. How does that sound? What about, could Dustin Canadian destroy famous Canadian Brendan Fraser at his most powerful?
Oh, during the Mummy days.
This happen?
Oh God!
During the Mummy, where would this how and when would he have to Canadian destroy a Canadian?
Well, you know what would happen? He would be one of the defenders Imhotep as well, and he'd take the destroyer from Dustin while fighting the defenders at Imhotep when he's going to find the curse at the start. That's where he would take the...
Would that stop? What would that end the film? Is Brendan Fraser defeated?
Nah, he'd shrug it off in that 1930s fighter style, you know? He'd probably spit out some blood, but he'd be fine.
Dustin has to put over Brendan Fraser.
He has to, yeah. He's too powerful in those Mummy films.
How would Brendan Fraser, Canadian destroyer, famous Canadian, William Shatner at his most powerful?
Well, obviously,
could Shatner, could Goldust defeat Captain James Tiberius Kirk?
The problem is the politicking of both of them would be a huge issue here, because there are multiple Star Trek films like 5 and 6 where Shatner put over himself, so he's good at putting over himself. While as Dustin has seen in AEW recently is very good at putting over himself as well. So it's going to be a hard one. But I feel that he'd definitely be someone painted green or some kind of weird color. And yes, T. Kirk would take the destroyer.
He'll have to be saved by Spock. I'm sorry, Shatner. You've been defeated by Dustin's Canadian destroyer. Shouldn't have been Canadian. Right, okay. Gonna actually make this one a little bit more of a challenge. It involves time travel, and I think bringing a man back from the dead.
Okay, cool.
Dustin has to Canadian destroy famous Canadian Rocky Johnson, the Rock's dad.
Oh, okay.
It's an old wrestling thing, and I have never seen Rocky Johnson wrestle.
Mate.
Could Rocky Johnson? Okay. All right, fuck that then. I'll move on.
Sorry about that.
Nia Twain. Can Dustin Rhodes impress her much with a Canadian
I'm sorry,
destroyer?
but his Canadian destroyer does not impress her much, so he's not going over. She wins.
Especially with how powerful we know women are.
Yes. In the AEW universe, she'd probably just slap him and he'd turn to dust.
This one's for me just because I want to see... is there any way Chad Kroger, lead singer of Nickelback, cannot be Canadian destroyed by famous Canadian destroyer?
Right.
In Canadian. I can't keep saying it.
Right, okay.
How does...
The only way he beats him is by forcing him to look at this photograph, and he distracts him with that and gets away.
No, I'm not. You can't have Chad Kroger escape the Canadian destroyer. I hate him. I hate him so much. Chad Kroger escapes by distracting him by look at this photograph. God damn it. Let's not remind me of this. Okay, what about Celine Dion?
Oh, God.
How would...
Off the prow of the Titanic.
That's a very AEW spot, if I'm honest. Just runs up near motherfucker.
While she's singing the song at the front of it, and she just gets destroyed. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we've destroyed quite a lot of my list of Canadian destroyers right now. Would you like one who can fight back or another victim?
Well, it depends. Let's see the victim.
Michael Bublé.
Well, the thing
Christmas
is, he's
man.
pretty safe unless it's Christmas because he's hibernating. So,
What? Would the Christmas power of Michael Bublé protect him
only
from the
powerful
Canadian
at Christmas,
destroying
and that's
power?
the only time he comes out. I don't think he would be destroyed. I think he's too powerful. He's powered by the power of, like, You know, all those 60
million middle-aged Christmas.
Yeah, all those 60-year-old women like are feeding him power like Goku gets fed by the Z fighters. So I think he's pretty powerful.
As we know from the plane ride from hell, Canadian Destroyer Dusty Rhodes is not actually very good at winning over women.
No, he's terrible at it.
No, that's a loss to him. How are you doing, Morg? I do have more Canadians.
I think I'm pretty much ready.
Sorry, give me a second. You safe as Canadians who are safe on this day from being destroyed. Canadian Destroyer, Dustin
Rhodes.
Ryan Gosling made it.
Oh, he would have made it through. You know, I like him too much. He's my man crush.
Did Ryan Reynolds and Seth Rogen and The Rock, who has dual citizenship apparently. I learned today.
He would have taken it.
Preparing for this moment.
He puts people over.
Put over Hurricane Helms.
Yeah, he put him over. Yeah.
Right, go on, Morg.
So, I'm going to slightly cheat here. So just to be a minor cheat.
In a cheat.
We will judge it. It will make sense. So it starts off with we start getting little segments, and they're going to start off on being the elite, and we keep getting sort of like bits of being the elite just hitting static, and it's almost like a hacked in type effect, and there's just like a ripped up elite shirt, an old ripped up elite shirt, and a Young Bucks, the action figures of the main guys of the elite, broken and smashed. And this goes on. We then move this on to Dark. We start bringing this in again, and these same kinds of little promos. We build up more and more again, and into Dynamite we start having it, and we're having these moments of nerves. And then we have a situation where we find Matt and Nick both completely laid out, unknown assailants. We don't know who did it. So nice. Kenny's going to the ring, and he's calling Hangman, and basically calling in the troops, trying to get back the troops. Matt and Nick can limp their way down, and very classic dub C dub, original dub C dub, camera pans across, and sitting in the crowd are Gallows and Anderson.
I see where you're going, good lad.
And they're just looking at the Bucks, and they just throw up the too sweet sign. Screw you, WWE, you can't copyright the too sweet sign. They just throw up the too sweet sign, turn around, and leave. Kenny has a championship match. I think Kenny might actually be our champion at this point in our
expanded universe.
In our expanded universe.
Not been destroyed yet.
And
he's vulnerable.
He's going against he's got a match against let's give Miro a push. So we're all looking forward to this. It's going to be a face versus face match. We've all been looking to this. They've hyped it up. Miro won a #1 contendership. There's been a lot of respect between the two, the man who can do everything, and Kenny. And cut backstage, and Miro is the one lying on the floor clutching his leg, and standing over him are Gallows and Anderson, at which point there's a cut. You get this static effect comes over on the their big screen, everything, and AJ Styles walks out with a microphone and just goes, elite, we used to be a club. Walks out, goes out, and just leathers Kenny. We're having a heel AJ Styles, and we're going to do an invasion of some of the Bullet Club guys, with going up against the elite. And the storyline is going to be that simple. It's all leading to Kenny versus AJ as our marquee match. Now, during this time, they're going to bring out a couple of extra people. They're going to recruit at least one other. In fact, they're going to recruit at least another couple of male wrestlers during this time, just to even up the odds. It'll be someone who can feud with Cody and someone who can feud with Hangman. So we've got all bases covered. because we've got all the Elite back together on the same page. This is the rebuild up of our hero's journey for the Elite. It is going to end with AJ beating Kenny after a 5-star match. But during this time also, with the Elite, because you've got Cody, you've got Brandy hanging on. So AJ comes out and you go, I'm a good Southern boy, so I'm not getting involved. But we've got a special recruit to our little club. We've got someone extra special. At which point, Cult of Personality hits. Crowd are all like, oh my God, it's CM Punk. It isn't CM Punk. It is CM Punk's wife, AJ Lee, who has come to sort out the women's division.
Yeah. It's proper,
and it's an ultimate heel move.
Yeah.
And come
Who's Your Daddy Montreal level thing.
Yeah. And who's come out to sort out the women's division. She can recut her she can do a variation of her pipe bomb promo that she did on the women's division in WWE, but you do a variation all about that it needs sharpening, basically a lot of the things we've criticized, and you can move her on then to feud in with Brandy at first, just to get her over. She can destroy Brandy, also help break the ring rust off. I would then probably feud her with someone like Serena. I think there's a story there. And again, it's another person, and you move her up, and I would certainly be putting the title. I would have her be the person to defeat Hikaru Shida for the belt, probably through shenanigans. So there you go. That's how I book AJ Styles and AJ Lee.
That's great. I love the heel pop. That's beautiful.
I thought you were about to sneak in CM Punk, and then you turned it on me, and I was like, no, that's wicked. Because I can imagine how angry you'd be if that happened.
Oh, well, you see, that's the thing, because it's a flip side as well, because you'd be so angry, but then at the same time, you'd be like, oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. And of course, you also set the internet on fire, because AJ Lee, CM Punk's wife, has just joined AEW.
Yeah. Exactly.
The internet is now on fire.
Can I make these hard? I'm going to give you the Canadian Destroyer plot next time.
That was hard, mate.
I couldn't put Kenny in to be Canadian Destroyed because he's legally Japanese.
He's safe.
He's safe from being destroyed.
So, Mr. Muir, this is where we like to have a little bit of a quick chat and a quick discussion. What have you got for us this week?
Right, well, this was a suggestion from one of you. I think it was Morg, and it's quite a good one. It's a talk about, because the video game's coming from AEW shortly, or at some point in the future, what are your favourite wrestling games, and what do you like in a wrestling game, and what don't you like in a wrestling game, basically?
I fucking love wrestling games. I was meant to do a lot more research for this and get specific
your life
games
fell
and
apart
names.
Today.
My life exploded this morning at around midday, but I am ready to talk about wrestling games. I have loved wrestling games since the original ones on the Mega Drive, back when you couldn't do anything cool, through to the SmackDown and SmackDown versus Raw game era, and ideally, that's like my perfect age. The games that came out between when I was like 16 and 22, that era of PlayStation, PS2 games. I think it's those two consoles.
Yeah.
It needs... I mean, if you boys want to talk, you're going to have to stop me because I can fucking go on this shit. What we need in a wrestling game. One, none of these stupid over-the-top combo bollocks. Like a bunch of the games, they've tried to make it like it's Guilty Gear. If I have to hold the pad like each hand is a crab attacking it, it's wrong. Do you remember the old days where it was just grapple? Up and one button did one move, left and one button did another, blah, 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 around this clock. That's what you need. Yep. Some nice, intuitive controls where people are going to have fun playing it. It's not a hyper-competitive thing. I know Ken is into his Street Fighter and stuff. Nobody's going to want to competitively play AEW games. What they're going to want to do, rolling into my next thing, is make a 9-foot crocodile-headed man in a spandex pants with, I know, a bra that fires fireworks and some wings and a halo.
Level of shit. I'm down with that.
Saints Row level character modification. I want the old stuff from the old days. I want Saiyan hair. And I've got a Bandai contact, so that's doable. I want huge bodies. I want to be able to make a man who's super thin, bright white with a smiley face drawn on him. And I want to put him through a story mode. Because that's where the WWE games fell apart. They took that story mode and they were like, and back in the old days, me and my mate Jay played them loads. You'd go through a story, you could have 2-player story mode where you'd be a tag team, and sometimes you'd split off and people would take you aside. And then they changed it to you do John Cena's story. And you have
because the video game industry died in the mainstream, but
and that's what's cost. That's why games are going down. Look how bad the latest WWE games have failed. I mean, other than the fact they're soullessly made empty copies of each other with no love put into them. Sorry,
we have a lot of hatred for bad video games. Let's put it that way.
It's my greatest deleted section. But yeah, no, I want character generation with dumb shit. I want a story with a hint of RNG in it. Don't get me wrong, the old games were wicked, but that tag team break would always come at the same time. There'd always be a outside fight. There'd always be a Hell in a Cell match. Well, it was cool, but we live in an age now where we can have some real RNG. Yep. Give me some different fucking events where so my 4-foot, 72-stone monkey man can get a bunch of different things. And I can give or take making moves. Making moves came in later before it became 100% soulless. And I love doing things like my character jumps off the turnbuckle, goes through 1,092 degrees before landing on his elbow. Yeah. Or my favorite move of spin a man round really slowly on my shoulders. I could do that, would be great, but I could do without it. Story and character are what I want, which is ideally what you want in wrestling.
Yeah.
And as a final point from me, don't overhype your dudes. I expect people to be at the top. I expect the highest or to have better stats. They always used to have stats in the game: speed, power, stamina, whatever. But I want to be able to make, I don't know, be the claw for handed murderer or Mendark the psychic crabman. I want them to be able to reach the top of that story. Maybe even have a league with my mates. I love video games. I love wrestling. Yeah, that's what I want, boys. I hope that's somebody else can speak now, I suppose is the best way to put it.
More?
So, for me, I want it to go back to SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. That was like the culmination of the SmackDown games. It was my
Brock on the front one.
It was the Brock. Sorry, Brock on the front. Yes. Bork.
Yeah, that's the one I think when I was.
It was the one.
I was looking at best one.
It was like the peak of the original SmackDown games. It had the camera angles were better. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cough. Match types, weapons, stacking tables. If I remember correctly, it was storyline mode. It was also, I think, an even numbered one. So your creator wrestler was better, but I could be wrong. Or they just smoothed it out. The thing I remember about the old SmackDown games was it was odd numbered one. Yeah, even numbered ones. The creator wrestler was always better. I could make a cooler looking creator wrestler than I could in the odd numbered ones. I certainly remember that from the first couple. I remember SmackDown 2, the creator wrestler was much better than SmackDown 1. And then I'm pretty sure the one in the third one, which I can't remember what its name was, wasn't very good. And then
they're building the engine, then they can expand on it in the next one, sort of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the era I liked, and it was the not overcomplicating the moves, which I have a feeling they're going to. I did do the research for the game that is regarded as being the greatest wrestling game by most gamers and wrestling fans, and it's WWF No Mercy on the N64. That's the one that they all rave about, and it's the one I expect them to use as a template. I'm not going to complain at a modern version of something that everybody says is great. I never played it because I didn't have an N64, so I didn't play. I'm worried it's going to be a 16-bit game.
Yeah, no, I'm worried that it's going to be their characters and overly complicated fighting, because I know a bunch of them like Japanese Nintendo-y games, and as much as people know Nintendo-y Japanese games through things like Mario and stuff, games like the later Street Fighters and Guilty Gear and stuff are hugely complicated 1v1 competitive fighters. And their biggest game nerd is Kenny, who loves that stuff. The others are N64 fanboys. And I don't know, it makes me worried, but on the other hand, I won't buy games from like most gaming companies because I think they're soulless. So
does basically, unless it's really good, then we'll buy it, sort of thing.
Yeah. Mr. Muir?
I have very little experience with video games because I had no friends growing up. So, I don't think I really played any wrestling video
So, this
games.
sounds sad to our listeners, but I'm going to point out Muir did actually go to boarding school and stuff. So he's not like a tragic pin kid who never had friends through being mean. He just grew up in weird circumstances.
I never really had my mates over the road to go play with because I was at boarding school the whole time. So I never really had games growing up through my childhood. So I'm more of an
Sounds cool to you though, Muir. What in your mind? How could a wrestling game play?
Okay, well, you'd want
from Wrestling Manager, don't you?
No. Well, I would like it like you're saying. I would like it to be so your character can be as powerful as any other character, and I'd like it to be story driven. I want it to be, a story going through, like you said, and a tag team story would be good for your mates if you want to play a co-op game. That'd be really cool. And like you said, have it more RNG, so random. There's 1,000 encounters you can have, or say something like that, and it'll roll a random one of them, basically. So random person X has offended you in this one, or whatever. Basically, just build it up as almost, not open world game, but it's very open. What could happen next in the storyline instead of it just being, a single cookie cutter story.
The issue here is the fact that me and Muir play very similar, very elite, little nerdy indie games. We're proper game snobs. But no, I'm excited for it. Fuck it. In honesty, I'd take a wrestling management game where you get to do things and do a bunch of different...
Yeah, we'd love that, though, and just sit there figuring out the intricacies of getting the best wrestlers. But, I'd happily play a silly fight and punch them up.
I do believe that is an option on SmackDown versus Raw.
I think the best way... Is it
Really?
Humans Fall Flat, the game we always play at our mate Tom's? The one where the hands, stick to each other. It's really hard to control them. I'd want that. In a wrestling game.
Weirdly, that's what old wrestling games used to be like. It would be just a bunch of people crammed into a ring and the camera would zoom out and you'd all be doing dumb shit and it was great.
What I want.
It best have local co-op.
Oh God, if they don't...
I have to play on the fucking internet, I'm going to lose my shit.
I want
the ability to do both.
Well, yeah, but I want it to...
Both great.
Because I want it on my PS4 and I want to be able to, me and Strange, to have a tag team because I know he's got a PS4 as well. And I want us to be able to have a tag team and go into a tag team storyline mode and win the belts, having gone through a story and beaten all of our favourite wrestlers.
Dearly both. And if they full online it and you can build a stable and do a manager shit with your friends.
Play a video game.
Wrestling,
but I also want to do that. Yeah. So there you have it. That's our thoughts on wrestling video games. And I would say that is our show for the week. So I'd like to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. If you want to find us, we are Wrestleopinionated on YouTube, Wrestleopinionated on Anchor.fm, and Wrestleopinionated on Spotify. Mr. Muir.
Thanks again for listening. It's always been a pleasure. And if you'd like to send in anything, please send it into wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, or WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Over to you, Strange.
Oh, you jumped on that, mate. You were in. You were ready and prepared. Unlike me, man who fucks up every section. Cheers for listening to our podcast. We really do appreciate it. It's actually been a really good outlet for me. I've had a rough as fuck day. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell button, do whatever they say to do on Anchor. I don't know how to use it properly. Click the little 5-bar thing on Spotify. We really appreciate you listening. And like, share, subscribe. Back to you, Morg.
All that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.